It's no secret that Vite has taken over the developer world. If you're building on frontend and you're not using Vite, you're almost certainly missing out. It just makes life better. It's the all-in-one bundler at the core of many different frameworks now, whether you're just building with vanilla React or using bigger things like Astro, TanStack Start, SvelteKit, or more. That's why I was so excited when Evan Yu announced the company being built around Vite, Void Zero. This is also why I was really skeptical when they announced Vite Plus, the private, closed-source, paid-for version of Vite that would handle a bit more. And that's why I'm so excited about today's announcement that Vite Plus is here in alpha and is no longer closed source. Vite Plus is now released as an open source repo under the MIT license as the new unified toolchain to build with Vite. I am genuinely really hyped. The idea of so many of these parts of your project management, be it packages and dependencies, your actual environment, the testing, scaffolding, packing, and bundling, all is one cohesive tool set, even including like linting, formatting. This is one of those things the web dev world has historically been missing because the tools we use are constantly in flux and changing. But as more and more of our tools have been centralized around Void Zero and their little ecosystem, suddenly this is getting really promising. I'm already using the majority of the tools they are referring to here. So what does it look like to move over to Vite Plus? That's a great question, and I haven't tried it yet. And that's why this video is going to be a bit different. I'm going to go through setting up and using Vite Plus for the first time live. I'm not being paid to cover Vite Plus or anything around here. I am not an investor in Void Zero. I missed the round, sadly. I am being paid, though, by today's sponsor. How many languages does your website support? If you're building real applications for real users, you're probably leaving over 90% of the market on the table if you only support English. Yes, that's right. 90% of the market, 90% of the world does not speak English. So why are you only supporting it? And maybe you are supporting other languages. And if you are, you're almost certainly suffering because the tools to do that right are horrible, except for one, general translation, which has fundamentally changed how I think about localization. When they hit me up to sponsor, I did a deep dive on the product and ended up so obsessed that I've since become an investor and an advisor. I just spent a bunch of time at their office. They actually gave me a monitor, funny enough, because I love what they're building. This would have saved me so much time at Twitch. It's hard to put into words. I think you'll understand once I show you a bit of the code, because general translation is built for developers. In the React version, pretty much everything is a component. You wrap your app with the GT provider, and now whenever you're in a given component that needs a translation, you just wrap the text area with the T component, and you're done. Wait, what if you need a variable though? What if something's dynamic and you don't want that translated? Well, they have a component for that too. You wrap the user.name here with var, and you're done. But not everything fits in JSX so simply. Like what if you need to pass a prop to something that is a translated string? Obviously they have that handled too using their hook, the GT hook. You can pass placeholder wrapped text and you're good to go. They've handled everything from branching to plurality to shared strings, dynamic content, and so much more. And I'm telling you from experience, building this stuff yourself is hellish. But more importantly, having a service that supports every language is a miracle. The amount of users you're losing because your site doesn't work in their language is insane. And now you can set everything up with just one click. They built their own agent that can run on App Router or Mintlify to do the translation for your whole project for you. They even have an auto merge setup where if somebody merges code that isn't translated properly, it will make the adjustments, add the components, generate the translations, and get that merged in and deployed for you. The more I read about these guys, the more I want to add it to every single one of my apps. Stop losing 90% of your users and translate your app at soydev.link/GT. We're better than to start than the getting started section. Hop over to my terminal, setting up Vite Plus. Do I want Vite Plus to manage my node versions? Interesting. So they have an NVM, FNM style thing here as well. Wait, that means this might be great for having in like a Docker image or an agentic environment where everything is managed by this. It's Corepack plus NI because it can be used for installs and everything. Very interesting. Do I do this, chat? Do I let Vite take over my node management? Chat's all saying yes, I have to do it. You can enable it later if I want. I'm going to enable it now and hopefully I don't regret it. Here we are. Let's do a new app. Vite plus monorepo, app, or library. I like the idea that the starting point supports all of these. Very promising. I'm going to start with something stupid. We'll just make a game. The models are okay at this now, so it should be fun. What do we want to make the game? Universal Package Manager. I'm thinking Universal Paperclip, but as a person who maintains a big open source project. Which package manager would I like to use? I thought it was a package manager. I am surprised to not see button here, but I get it. PNPM is recommended, makes a ton of sense. Which agents are you using? Ooh, I like this a lot. You can select which agents you're using and make sure you have the right MD files for it. I would recommend, and I know they never will for various like political allegiance things, not literal political allegiance, but business allegiance with Vercel versus Cloudflare. Skills.sh is really cool as a way to install skills in a reusable way that will symlink the skills across the different folder paths that are expected. Thankfully, agentsmd is quickly becoming a standard. Only Claude ignores it. I will add Claude in here. Don't really need to add a cursor rule. If it has the agentmd, it should be fine. Also, OpenCode and AMP and others all use the same agentsmd. I think Copilot should support it as well. This will also be fun to read those agentmds and see what they're doing. Ooh, we can also add the .vs Code, so it will handle like editor plugins and whatnot. Set up pre-commit hooks to run formatting, linting, and type checks with autofixes. Ugh. I used to hate pre-commit hooks, but I'm coming around to them in an AI world. I was told by the team I should try the VP check and VP env commands, and I'm very down to do exactly that. VP check. Okay, that's pretty absurdly fast. It did find formatting issues, but it just ran across my entire code base in 332 milliseconds. It's not like the biggest code base, to be fair, but like it's still 15,000 lines of code. Let's see how much of it can fix. Okay, it did manage to fix a lot of them there. Now the pre-commit hook is failing. You know what we'll do? Fix all the lint errors that come up with VP check. I also want to try the env command. What can we do here? We can set it up. Let's try that. Okay. In order to use the env stuff where it controls your node version, you have to manually add it to the zshrc. So in order to have it work in things like VS Code and Cursor, you also have to add it to your profile. A little annoying that they don't have like a command I can run that lets me do this. Like VP env setup should say, hey, we have to do these things. Hit Y to do this first step. It will edit this. It should be set up already. VP env doctor. Okay, apparently the doctor command will do it. Should be first in path. Demanding to be the first thing in my path is a bit bold. Like I have a lot of shit in my path. You're not that special, guys. Come on. What does the pin command do? Does this affect the project or does this affect my computer? Okay, it creates .node version in the project and pins it to the latest thing. Okay, that's what I wanted it to do. That's good stuff. That means it's much easier to have different node versions across different things on your computer. Oh, that I actually really like. That makes this much more compelling. Like the hell of managing like FNM and all these other things and having it work for other people on my team that use different things. Ugh, this is great. This is good. I was skeptical of Vite Plus managing my node versions, but they do this right. This is good. One of the better things I've seen so far. And the lint being so fast is really cool as well. I'm happy I was told to like go try that quick. It is actually insane how good the GPT 5.4 model is in Codex for these types of things, that I can just tell it to go do the thing and it will figure it out. And now all of the linting is handled. The fact that it takes under half a second across everything here is insane. The formatting took 341 milliseconds. The linting took 247 milliseconds. That's absurdity, like genuinely. Okay, the bun run lint command is similarly fast for me. It took 0.19 seconds of user time. So not that big a difference, especially considering that we're using ESLint before. Yeah, I really want to try this out on a project like T3 Code, but making that migration there is going to be significantly harder than it is on a project like this. Yeah, I'm happy. This is good. This is good stuff. I see where they're going here. Let's take a look at this initial start. I'm actually quite curious. First, we'll look where we always should start. Package JSON, version 0, type cool. Dev commands VP dev, build, TSC and VP build, VP preview, VP config. It does have Vite Plus as a dev dep, so it should be able to resolve VP in all of these. I was wondering how this would work for somebody on my team who isn't yet using Vite Plus. That seems to handle it fine. They can still just pnpm run dev and it should work. But if they pnpm install, it should be fine too, because it is just pnpm under the hood. Nothing too sus yet. Let's hop into the source and see what we have. Okay. Not using a framework. It didn't actually ask during setup if I want to use React or anything like that, which was surprising. I expected them to ask me if I wanted to use any of the many, many templates they have for building with any framework in Vite. They didn't. I am sure there is some solution for that somewhere, but yeah, not what I'm here for yet. The main TS file just renders in the hash app like ID'd element in the page, this content, and also binds random things for the ticker and whatnot. Does it have any JavaScript in here that triggers? No. pretty boring stuff. The counter is where we handle that logic. All vanilla JS, as we saw here, no dependencies, only dev deps. So nothing is being bundled in your output by default. And speaking of things included by default, got to check out the agents MD. Vite plus start. Interesting, it starts with a top level title tag. This is where I'm going to start having hot takes. I find that a lot of templates and projects and scaffolds are still treating the agent MD files almost like a README, more so like a README for the team that built it, not for actually building with their tools. Ideally, Vite plus would only need 2 or 3 lines in here, and then it would point to docs or other resources if the agent needs more context. I shouldn't need to start with all of this information, especially this early in, and it should not be a top level title like this. Like, this is the document that's supposed to be used for all of the things that I do in this project with AI. This is too Vite plus specific. If I saw somebody try to commit this agent MD in one of my projects, I would probably yell at them. Just like straight up. There's no reason that the agent needs to know the create command in a project that I've already created. I hate to be so critical here, but like a lot of the value of something like Vite Plus is how well it can streamline a lot of the like agentic DX, having everything integrated in one place. This is not it. This is so far from how working with agents is supposed to work. There's no reason that my agent in an already initted project needs to know the create command or the migrate command, much less all of the other random stuff in here. Like, it does not need to know about the task cache. That's not a problem that my agents need to care about. I know there's some Void Zero people in chat. Please tell me this is just some random AI generated slop and not something you actually put work into, because this is really bad. Like, I'm just deleting both of these files. They are hurting more than helping. First feedback, if you are using this yourself, do not answer the which agents are you using question, because those files are actual garbage and will make the model perform worse. Confirmed from our friends over at Void Zero. Still alpha, they're not done tweaking that yet. Good. It needs to be trimmed to hell. And it should probably be a skill. Yeah. Or at the very least, tucked away in some docs file that gives more info, like .docs/Vite plus context, and just tell the model that that exists rather than the agents MD being so clogged with garbage. Apparently, there are other templates that could have been used that don't come up initially when you use the Vite create command. That's a little annoying to learn about now. This is a shorthand set for popular templates, including TanStack Start, Next App, Nux, React Router, Vue, Standard Vite. Interesting, they don't have a like more vanilla React-y one. Like, this is so interesting where it's like in between where Vite was, where like the defaults were very vanilla-y and as minimal as possible. And something like Create Next App or TanStack Start that includes a lot more. Vite Plus definitely skews in that direction of more. Like, the lack of a vanilla React option here is a choice, and it's probably a good choice. I am not going to do that though, because I want to use everything as vanilla-y as possible. Let's try actually running it. VP dev. Now I have the localhost starting point and a counter that works. You know what? I'll bring back this and I'll do what I wanted using Vite Plus. Check out the Vite Plus docs for more info on how to use it. Cool. There we go. This is a slightly better agents MD. You'll start with this. Well, I will add this on Git. Cool. Let's make it a game. Hop into the best AI coding app ever built. You got Universal Package Maintainer here. We can now drag and drop to reorder. Fuck yeah. I want to start building this game. Let's make a plan for a first version. Plan mode. Do I want to save vanilla, switch to React, or plan for backend? Definitely switching to React. Save local state. Cool. All submitted. While this is running, I want to try the other things they added. Specifically, I want to try the VP migrate command. Let's find something that is migratable. How about lawn? Let's see how this goes. Package manager I like to use is currently using bun, so I guess we'll move it to PNPM. Set up pre-commit hooks to run formatting, linting, and type checking. Sure. Agent instructions. Ooh. We're skipping those. We're definitely skipping those. ES code, ESLint, auxlint. Oh, first fail. Unsupported package manager. Bun, I told you I want to use PNPM. Just switch. I get that you don't want to support bun, but a lot of us are on bleeding edge stuff. Like, if you're using Vite Plus, you are a bleeding edge dev. The people who are going to first be trying Vite Plus are the same people who have been trying and using bun for a while now. You gotta support us here. Like, at least let us move out. That's a pretty big miss in my opinion. And now I have to spin up Claude code to make this project Vite Plus friendly. Move from bun to PNPM. Look at our plan for the game as we're waiting for all that. This looks good. It's a pretty fucking big plan. YOLO. Oh, the model never passed the plan via the plan tool. That's annoying. That means the sidebar will never show anything. The amount of random quirks we have to fight with these models and harnesses every day with something like T3 code is annoying. Everybody's asking why they don't support bun. My assumption is because bun is a moving target and it's not in TypeScript. It's probably not as easy to manage, but I'm not the creator of Vite Plus. I don't know. If Alex is still here and has information on why they're not supporting bun, I would love for him to include it. The fact that it's not node-based and it's not just a package manager is my assumption for why they don't include it. It's also kind of a competitor. These are two different paths to one unified tool for everything. I'm imagining there's enough conflict between the two. Apparently it's planned. It's not there now, but yeah. Let's try the migration command again. Migrate, yes, skip, and we've now migrated. Oh, the Oxlent type checker does not support base URLs. That is annoying. Apparently there's a tool to remove it. Okay, ready for the most annoying complaint ever? This is really petty, okay? Here's a QWERTY keyboard. I use a QWERTY keyboard. Most of you use a QWERTY keyboard. If you're on one of those weird European ones, I'm sorry. QWERTY for life. When I have to type in npm install, I do npm space I. I'm going to hold up my left hand here, and with my right hand, npm space I. One-handed. If I have to do pnpm, same deal. pnpm space I. If I have to do bun, it's a bit more of a reach, but bun with the B is still hittable with my finger, the pointing finger on my right hand. The V is too far. This seems stupid and trivial and silly, but this is the first package manager I've had to use where I feel like I have to two-hand it, except for Yarn, but I was not typing Yarn a whole lot. Yeah, VPI is a little bit more annoying to type. Even though it's fewer keys, I have to use my other hand. Just a silly thing I noticed. Felt like it was worth calling out. It's dumb, but like these ergonomics are silly. That's not great. Some store function I was using broke as a result of this migration. VP install. That is really not great. Git status, git add, broken, swap out main. Oh, I hate pre-commit hooks. Let's make sure this still works. Yeah, it still works on main. So something in that migration broke shit. That's annoying. This is a very minimal app. I also noticed that my dev command got broken by this too. This dev command's a bit custom. Yeah, I have concurrently where I run the web and convex commands with different colors, vite dev -port 5296, and I run the bun command. This is my dev command. But when I ran the migration, interesting, it didn't change. VPI and then VP dev. Interesting. It looks like it hijacked my custom dev command and didn't use it. So now that I did the VP dev command, it did its own dev command instead. Is that correct? Oh, I have to VP run dev. I don't mean to be rude to my friends at Vite Plus. You do know this is the single biggest complaint we have about bun, right? You do know the fact that when you run bun test, that it doesn't use the test script we have here, has like led to us almost moving off of bun for T3 code, right? The thing we put in scripts should always take precedent 100% of the time. I know this sounds like a petty hill to die on. This needs to be fixed before you're out of alpha. Hard stop. If there is a dev command in the script, the dev command should be used. There is no good reason to have a custom dev command that takes precedence over the one that I wrote. Bun build is the same deal. Yes, bun build and bun run build can be different. Bun test and bun run test can be different. And that is a very bad thing. Do not carry over the biggest annoyance of bun in your design here. This is bad. This is not one of those like agree to disagree opinion things. This is just bad. Is it always run? You always have to put run to run one of the scripts. So they're not doing the shorthand like bun as bun dev. That is just shorthand for bun run dev. This doesn't have any shorthands at all for things that are included in scripts. You have to do VP run script name. That, okay. I get it, but don't give us these built-in commands that are overlapping with the ones that we already have. At the very least, this should immediately give you a, are you sure you don't want to use the dev command that you already have in your like script tags? At the very least, this is not good UX, especially as a lot of people, again, are going to be moving off of bun for this. This is confusing. VP run dev should behave better here. Oh, great. Vite command not found. Wonderful. I was hoping it would migrate that too. I have to do VP dev port 5296 for that. That's annoying. Okay, now we're getting into like hellish orchestration, like you need to know what you're doing world hell. I need this dev command to run the web dev server as well as the convex backend dev server at the same time. I just use concurrently. It's a really simple way to do two things at once. The Vite dev doesn't work anymore because we no longer depend on Vite. Vite's no longer a package. So the VP run dev command has to call VP dev. That I hate. That VP run dev is going to trigger VP dev and like npx convex dev. This is not loving that. And we're still getting errors from use store atom.get is not a function. Let's just ask an agent. We'll let that do its thing. And while that is trying to fix itself, because I just spun up a Claude code in the background to try and fix things. Somebody said I'm missing the run in the script. No, because if I do VP run dev, it's going to recursively call this command forever. So I have to use VP run dev to trigger the script dev command, so I can trigger VP dev, the non-script command, the Vite dev server command, which is different from VP run dev. This is the problem. This, as an all-in-one solution, it's now like clobbering its own namespace, and it's getting way less clear what I actually need to run. Well, with that all going, our game apparently is done. Let's give it a shot. VP dev. Left behind.js, our new package. Maintainer on call. Package published. README currently describes ambition more than behavior. Okay. This is a really awful page it started with, but we can work. Publish patch. And we can keep publishing patches, just hammering the button. You can buy a README glow up using your downloads. You can add CI badges, shameless launch thread, post a dramatic founder story thread about semicolon liberation. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do what I always do. When I have an app that works and the UI is garbage, I open up a Claude Code instance. Soon I'll be able to open this Claude Code instance in T3 code, barring Anthropic causing us more problems. And then you won't even have to use another terminal tab for this. This UI is garbage. Cool. Let that do its thing. Interesting. Okay, apparently there were stale directories. It did not properly clean out the old node modules when I did the migration. That's Claude Code's fault as much as anything else. I'll try VP run dev again. Okay, it looks like there's something actually wrong. Like something's actually just broken with this setup with TanStack. I don't know if it's TanStack query or TanStack start, but yeah, the latest Vite and Vite Plus is not working with this project. What previous Vite version were we using? It was using Vite 717. But they have a TanStack start template, so I'm a little confused why it wouldn't work other than like my TanStack deps being out of date. It does not look like it actually updated all the TanStack packages. This is another instance of Claude Code being fucking garbage. It's 50% things that Vite Plus is doing different that my tooling and my repos just aren't ready for yet. 50% Claude Code being actually fucking useless. This is what I get for trying it for anything other than like quick UI changes. Let's grab the same error. I'm gonna give like the exact same prompt to T3 code with Codex just to make a point. I just migrated this project to Vite Plus, and now I get errors. Please fix them. Probably need to upgrade the TanStack packages. And isn't it nice being able to like look at the image in a real UI with like a real chat experience? Every time I use one of the CLIs for code stuff, I regret it. And as soon as I go back to the UI, I'm like, oh, this is how it's supposed to be. Like actually having a UI where you can select text properly, copy things, look at images, switch between things without memorizing 1,500 fucking hotkeys. It's just so much better. I am saying this all as a terminal person too. Oh, look at that. I found the likely root cause. The workspace has mixed TanStack versions installed at once. So this is probably the bun to PNPM change that broke things. And it's finding way more things that are broken and fixing them. Look at that. And look, this is like actually useful context. I'm comparing the user's in-progress dependency edits with the current install state before I touch anything. If node modules is just stale, a clean reinstall plus version pinning is safer than layering more mismatched upgrades on top. The runtime stack now makes sense. Use store is being handled on router store without a .get method, which only happens when TanStack router builds a server-style store on the client. That points to an incompatible TanStack package set around the isServer start integration, not your route code. Look at that. Better model. Look, I found other CSS things it has to fix too for build. Good shit. VP run dev. Look at that. Codex fixed it. Thank you, Codex and T3 code. Gonna keep going to clean up other things it perceived as wrong, but we did it, Reddit. Just ended up being package version changes. As always, these things aren't as simple as just running a CLI command. Unless the CLI command is Codex, then it probably would have been that simple. But like, Actually, though, pretty significant migration to change out from Vite 7 to Vite 8, plus swapping all of our linting, all of our type checking, all of our formatting and everything over to be OX-based, Rust-based, and Vite Plus-based. It's cool. But the real test is, how does this affect build times? And for reference, this is a project that is currently using TanStack Start with Vite 7. It takes about 28 seconds to build. It is a relatively small app. I would not expect to see a meaningful improvement. Hopefully it's not a regression, though. We shaved a second off, boys. All of this work. We've rewritten the entire ecosystem in Rust, and now we're 1 second faster. This is obviously sarcasm. This is totally fine. This is an app that builds fast already, and it builds fast as well. It is what it is. It is also using PNPM instead of bun, which means the install command is going to be slightly slower. So there is that to account for as well. But that does not mean this whole thing was slow. It's still lightning fast, and I wish I had a bigger Vite app to test with. Worked fine here, though. So yeah. The Claude code run has been going for over 15 minutes, and it has not changed any code yet. It loaded the front end skill, and now it's just sitting here thinking. It might eventually do something. Ooh, this part is interesting on Vite. I hadn't seen this. Vite Task is a powerful new open source project shipping as part of Vite Plus. Provides the core task runner for Vite Plus's built-in commands as well as packaged JSON scripts via VP run. Vite Task orchestrates tasks across workspace packages with automated input tracking, so it can fingerprint. Dependency-aware execution, so tasks run in the correct order based on your package JSON dependency graph and explicit depends on declarations. Multi-command scripts like TSC and VP build are split into subtasks and cached independently. That's huge. This really is going for like the turbo pack alternative with all of this. And then a familiar CLI. VP run mirrors the interface of PNPM run, including monorepo support, reducing the number of new concepts you need to learn to adopt Vite Plus. Yeah. You know how I feel about all that. So here's an example of generating icons, which you might want to cache the outputs of instead of regenerating it. So now when your VP run generate : icons generates icons in the first run and skipped entirely if nothing changed on subsequent runs. You edit a source file or the specified icon theme environment variable changes, the task will rerun. That is cool. I like this. And I like that there's a -- cache, like simple call here to just cache the result. That's great. This is still going. Now that we have the PNPM cache, it'll be fun to see if our build times are any better. Oh yeah, that is actually better. Down to 22 seconds. That's a meaningful shave from 30-ish to 20-ish. Good stuff. Nice. And I'm sure a lot of my time is being lost to the deployment process for Convex. Not that it's like a lot of time. It's still just seconds, but like that's fast as fuck. I have put so much effort into trimming build times in my apps. It's actually one of the reasons I've been so happy to be using less of Next.js type stuff, because even with TurboPack, the build times are still garbage. So getting down to 22 seconds on a real build here for an app that actually has users and customers is pretty fucking cool. I won't lie. That is dope. Claude Code finally finished updating the game. Don't necessarily love where it went with it. Incident: Hacker News found your package and immediately invented a use case that you never promised. Good shit. There's some funny ideas in here. Also, it's silly, but this stupid fucking online thing. I see this in every like GPT-5 based UI and half of the Claude ones too. It's so dumb. Yeah, everybody's saying this looks sloppy. You're all right. It definitely does. I do love the promise here. A future where we no longer have to juggle node version managers, package managers, a multitude of individual tools, their config files, or all of the hell managing upgrades for all of them. I see where this is going, and I am genuinely excited for us to get there. The fact that I could change all these commands to just use VP-dev instead of Vite or PNPM or any of like 15 other options is promising. The fact that I could gut all of my weird linting and type checking stuff and move as much of it over to VP commands as I could is exciting. VP lint, being able to just lint files, is dope. There's a future where a lot of that decision fatigue that we're all feeling nowadays can be reduced down meaningfully. And generally speaking, the more streamlined and centralized and simple solutions we have for the problems that we build solutions around, the better. But you combine this with the other thing that the Void team is working on, which is a better way to deploy your Vite apps across the web as full stack applications. I see where they're going. This is a very exciting future where everything you need, from your database to your package management to your CSS to your runtime in the cloud, can all be provided with one solution. And if anyone is going to be able to figure all of this out, it is going to be Evan Yu and his team as well, of course. Even if Void is currently built heavily on top of Cloudflare, and Vite Plus is built heavily on top of Vite. I mean, of course it is, it's Vite Plus. There is a direction here that is exciting, and I am actually very excited about it. There's a lot of little things that could be better here. There's a lot of random edge cases I hit throughout this, and I expect the team to do what they always do, embrace the opportunity to make things better. I've been working with Vite forever now. I use it for so much stuff. I was one of the first people to use Vite with React. I was so early, they put me in the documentary for it. I'm excited. I see the potential. I am not feeling it yet, though. That's the difference. I see what this could be. I'm excited about what this could be, but I personally don't see myself using it for a whole lot just yet. Thankfully, it's open source, and there's a ton of promise in where they're going with it. I'll be sure to keep an eye on it, as I'm sure most of y'all will as well. But for now, not necessarily the thing I'm going to start using for all my projects, just a thing I'm very excited for the future of. Curious how y'all feel. Are you hyped on Vite Plus, or is this something you're going to skip for now? Let me know how y'all feel, and until next time, peace nerds.